So I'm here today with Martin Lorenzen, and hope we get started today, Martin. I know a lot of folks come into the mortgage industry from different places. You've got a particularly interesting story. At least it was interesting to me. So will you share with us a little bit about what you were doing before you got into the mortgage business?
For sure. I had retired approximately 10 years ago. I was in proprietary trading starting around 2000. So developing algorithms, discretionary trade, the whole boat. And, the industry had changed where it just wasn't for me anymore. Started to make a move to kind of get back in. Then COVID started, right? So we all kind of reassessed, Alan, we all reassessed. And I said, what can I do? Because I missed people. A friend of mine introduced me to the mortgage industry, and here I was. So I'm loving it.
I can tell you do enjoy your work. So when we first connected, you had just passed your test, and so you became a customer. And then did you go in and put in some pretty decent study time to help you learn the business when you got our product?
Oh, for sure. I believe in standards. So I had done Zinix, which is great. I'd looked around. I, subscribed to various periodicals, Mortgage Currency, one you introduced me to, thank you. But the complete 1003 really got me into the hows, whys, particulars of understanding how to structure a loan. When you look at the discretionary input that an underwriter has, but you see it in the 1003 form, the complete 1003 form, and you're hitting the highlights and seeing the loan saves, which were awesome. Thank you, and we'll get to that. But it really let me understand from a base sense of how you create a loan. So it worked wonders for me. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. So can you talk about any of the specific results you achieved? I know you did well on your first loan, and
The first loan I put through, okay, and we had switched from a proprietary system to we're using Encompass like most of the world.
Mhm.
So I put the loan in, right? And I'm a Luddite. When it comes to technology, I'm not the guy. I get how to make it work, but the actual clicking, we all know the pain of Encompass. So I put the loan in, one touch file goes right through.
Oh, good.
I looked and I said, no, well, like, what do I have to do now? Like, where do I go? No, you're good. And yet, don't get me wrong, it was a clean file, but from getting my thought process right? If I understand what an underwriter's looking at, I understand how I should be structuring a loan. And it's high standards, great results.
That's good. So after you saw the demo, can you remember why you decided to do business with us, to become a customer after you saw the demo?
I saw the demo, and I'll tell you the truth, I wasn't sure, because you see a lot of things out there, and I see, it looks good. But when I talked to you, you took the time to talk to me as a new guy, and you took the time and you laid out how, why, and where it would work. And I used it as a crutch when I first started. And when I talked to you and saw your standards and how you look at the business, and you shared a lot with me, and I appreciate it. I kind of had to go with the product. It's fabulous, fabulous.
I appreciate it. So
Here's another save for you.
Okay.
Union. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Here's one. I have a guy with McCormick Place. I live in the Chicagoland area.
Yep.
Off the last, I think it was a September mortgage letter for FHA, right? Made a lot of allowances for COVID coming in. And I was going in for an underwritten pre-approval because the guy was union. And the problem was underwriters were looking at it as if he had a bunch of job hopping and he had the absence in job. But from going through the complete 1003, right? Chicago, Boston, Providence, New York, we have unions where you may have a bunch of different employers. The rest of the country doesn't understand this. And most underwriters aren't from these major areas.
Mhm.
And it was a save right away because I knew what to have. And it lets me be proactive. So I start to load up on everything I might need. Hey, I'm working with a borrower and thinking of one offhand. The gentleman had an issue with self-employed, great income. Hey, I'm getting everything from his accountant ahead of time in case I need it, because I can see where it could go, where the discretion is going to come in. And if I get a question, I already have an answer. Right? And it just helps. It helped me a ton, just how to think about, anyone who has any degree of standards. Like if you're not just answering the phone, you're really trying to be a loan officer, you have to get the training.
All right, well, then I appreciate that, Martin. I appreciate your time. I know here we are, it's a little slow and you're still busy, so I don't want to keep you on this for too long. Any final comments that you might give to anybody that's watching this, or we can call it today?
This is the only testimonial I've ever given.
Wow.
I just, because sometimes I feel like you get lucky here. I'd usually rather be lucky than good. Lucky for me, you were good. So thank you.
I appreciate that, Martin. I've enjoyed working with you, and I know we're going to talk after we end this. I know you got a couple of new folks now taking the test, and we're going to talk about possibly bringing them onto the program as well. So I appreciate your business.
Hey, and I appreciate you for taking the time to create it.
Thank you.